welcome back to my channel. Hello, good morning, vlogsters. Let me put this down. Julie's home. Well, Julie's back. Julie's back from her home. Julie's at my home. Wanted to say good morning. This morning we have a Marauders Map Tervis cup that has colder coffee in it, and I'll tell you why. So the truth be told, because I don't lie to you guys, is this morning I woke up. I don't know what time it was. It was sometime in the middle of the night morning. And I have this new thing because the internet is so slow. What I been doing the last few days is I have been letting my video upload overnight when the internet is less used, but that I'm asleep, and I plug my phone in so it doesn't die, and I turn off the sleep mode so it doesn't go to sleep. And I woke up at some time to basically schedule my video, and as I was scheduling my video, I noticed a video from the other day. I don't know what day. It was not scheduled, never went live. So first things first. Hi, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, it's kind of like that morning. If you are one of my besties and has direct contact with me, or if you're just a subscriber who emails me or direct messages me on a regular basis, and you don't see a video for the day, just let me know. For some reason, my scheduling, I think I mentioned this a week or two ago, the scheduling and the iPhone and the YouTube app are just like not going well. Like, so I could actually schedule a video and it get put back to unlisted. However, this time I do believe it was me that I just like zoned out. I just brain farted right out of the knowledge that I needed. So if you ever don't see a video from me, just say, hey, Jeri, no video today. Just a simple question. Then I'll like be, oops, or let me look, or there should be, or, and again, not every channel, between the two channels, I'm so sorry, between the two channels, there should be a video every day. So just to, if you're there and you want to help, that would be a great way to help. So 2 o'clock in the morning or 2:30 in the morning last night or whatever, I just made it live. It was from the other day. I don't know when it was. And in the sequence of events, I have to go back and look and see. I think it's supposed to be the video that was supposed to be live on Saturday. I'm pretty sure that was the video that was supposed to be live on Saturday, but I'm not 100% sure. It was just sort of, and it was funny because it was sort of a vlog that I think, if I recall, it's called like this and that, because it was like a lot of every different thing, and I kind of felt like I was in a good mood, and people were reaching out to me and saying like, are you, oh, just checking in, hope you're okay. And I realize now maybe that was them saying, I didn't see a video from you today. You're right. Like maybe we have to be more specific. If you are just checking in to see if I'm okay, then I will tell you how I am for that moment, or that day. So I just thought that was really funny and really cute. I have a lot of stuff to work out about financials. Again, I'm not asking for money. I'm not looking for money. Please, 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 please. I've mentioned it before. If we're ever in such dire straits that I need to start a GoFundMe, I will let you guys know. But for right now, we're okay. But I have to there's a lot of stuff to work out, okay? So if you're a hater who just wants to jump on the, hey, this is just another excuse for her to ask for money, shut up, because it's not what it is, and zip your lip. But if you were generous enough to gift me a gift card or money, or even the Starbucks card that I got was so touching. I'm really so grateful and thankful. I don't want it to be like I'm not appreciative of people who generously give of themselves, but I'm not asking for anything right now. And I say right now because I'm not above asking for help anymore. I was for a long time, but it took a lot out of me. But anyway, all right, bring it together. there's a lot of financial dancing that has to get done with like insurance companies and pre-approvals and prior authorizations and all those things that really need to get taken care of. And as soon as I'm done vlogging today, that's my job for the day, is to get on the phone calls with the insurance companies and say, hey, what's going on here? And hey, yada, yada, yada. So that's what's happening. A couple of things I wanted to touch on. I was actually started to talk about last night that I didn't know what time I woke up. And I got on my phone and I made that video live, and then I scheduled my one for this morning. Excuse me, it's itchy. It's just itchy. I scheduled the one for this morning, and then I like started to look at some comments. I guess it was dark enough out that I could kind of make out some comments, and I did a lot of screenshotting before my eyeballs were like done. But there were some people who were like, I shouldn't get on here and talk about my mother-in-law, and I shouldn't get on here and talk about my mother-in-law's finances. And I'm not talking about my mother-in-law's finances. What I'm talking about is my finances. And yes, living with a person, whether it's your roommate, your mother-in-law, or your husband, affects your personal finances. And I'm not really sharing with you like her personal finances. I'm sharing with you how living with her is affecting my personal finances. That being said, I do understand and I appreciate it, and I never really try to indulge her personal information. Sometimes it comes out of me. I think I might have slipped once or twice over the years of actually telling you her name, because when I talk to her, she's Mom, but when I talk about her, usually I refer to her as her by her name. So sometimes it's hard to like remember. But I don't, I try very hard to keep her personal life personal. But yes, some of the things that she indulges in from the family account affect my finances, affect the family finances and the household finances, which I'm fine with. One person actually said that the bills shouldn't be 50-50. They should be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I don't want to say that I disagree with you or agree with you, because in all fairness, when we were each buying our own, well, before we had a family account, Mom was spending as much money on herself than we were on the two of us, which is why when we decided to have a house account, we just decided to make it 50-50. Again, because of the special things that she needs that cost a lot more money, which I'm not denying her. That's why I don't deny her, But when we were sitting down and doing our household finances, we realized that she was spending actually more money on herself than we were spending on just the two of us. And when we came together, we decided to split it. And we actually helped her out by having her portion be less every month. So that was actually just a little background. I never really shared that with you. But since it came up in question about a thing that I had posted, I just figured I would share that part. Let's see. I feel like there was something else I wanted to address. And it's not like I'm addressing the haters. It's just that obviously my opinion is when someone says something, and I don't, again, anxiety, ignorance, like all of these words have taken on such a negative tone, but really just ignorance is just somebody doesn't know something. When you're ignorant of a situation, that means you're not uneducated about it. And when I say that somebody's ignorant of a situation, it's not negative towards you. It's not meant to be negative towards you. That's just the way that word was intended to be used, is that you're not aware of the situation. You're ignorant to the situation. Not that you're an ignorant person. So forgive me if that's how you've taken it, because that's never how I intended it. But when I feel like people come on, like when I first started my channel and people just presumed, because they had this assumption or assumed that I was on welfare and that I was on disability and that I was like sucking the government teat and not doing anything for myself, and that I was so lazy and fat. Like, people really had these presumptions about me based on whatever biases that they had. So when I say that, I don't mean to, like, I had a lot of my personal friends say, you know, you really shouldn't address these people. I'm not really addressing the people, because to come on and voice your biases in a way that's hurtful and harmful is where I draw the line, where you get deleted or blocked. But if you have a genuine question, I can tell the sincerity in someone's voice, the way they word it, you know. Oh, you know, like, uh, oh, I'm on disability and I can't afford to go to the Dollar Tree. How do you do it? Then I could say, oh, I'm not on disability. I'm sorry, but if you are and you have a limited budget, this is ways to work it. I can do that. But when I hear like these people who have presumptions and prejudgments, I know prejudgment is prejudice, but you know what I mean? Like oh, hold on one second. That's a doctor. That was not a doctor. I just have to answer everything these days, but that was not a doctor. So, I feel like that I need to speak on it because I need to educate you on the situation. So when you assume that I should be, my husband and I should be taking 2/3 of the bills, then I just wanted to tell you, before, when we were each paying for our own things, her things massed to amounts larger than our things together, combined. So when we came together, we thought we were helping her financially by taking on some of the burden. Now, that was when 2019, when it looked like I was going to start to really make more money on YouTube before the whole cuppa pandemic debacle. So things have changed, but we still make it work every month, you know, almost every month. I think 1 month we actually had to like discuss as a family to work it out and to budget. But really, we've made it work out, you know, every month since. So, sorry, I have to fix my little sockies. Just cutting in my leg. What? No, it's not cutting in my leg. Oh, just itchy. I got the fritchies at my ankle, and I just assumed the sock was cutting in my ankle, but it wasn't. So that was about the budget. I shouldn't talk about my mother-in-law, but again, I don't indulge any private information, but it's when you live with somebody, it's hard to discuss my life. My life she's part of my life. Our lives are intertwined, so it's very difficult for me to talk about my life without bringing her up from time to time. I could, from now on, refer to her as my roommate. I think that that's more disrespectful than talking about her, but okay. And when I talk about her and I talk about the cigarette smoke, again, I am not at a point where I complain at this point, because really it is what it is. I accept the good and the bad, and it's more positive. I have more positive feelings about living with her than negative feelings. But when I talk about like that, my sister's concern is about me being out there in the secondhand smoke now that I have on medication that compromises my immune system. It's what it is. I mean, that's the truth. It's not a judgment. It's not hateful. It's the truth. It's facts. It's what it is. I mean, no, secondhand smoke isn't good for anybody, but when you're on medication that compromises your immune system, it's really not good for you. So I don't mean to speak ill will, because I don't have any ill will feelings, so I definitely don't mean to speak ill will. And I don't mean to make it sound like I'm complaining, because I am not complaining. I'm just telling you why things are the way they are. Now, if you're also a person who supports me and thinks like my mother-in-law should go outside and have a smoke or whatever, I don't think that that's reasonable to ask either. Yes, it is her house. I think the things that we've tried to work on, like getting air purifiers and that kind of stuff, you know, she can be very forgetful to turn them on, to close her door, just things that would be considered like rude. I don't look at them that they're rude. I look at them like that she's, you know, getting older, and these aren't things that she remembers without being reminded. And she doesn't mind being reminded. She never, one time have I ever reminded her that she say, like my husband does every time I talk to him. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she'll go back and fix whatever it is. Excuse me. So again, I don't just me talking about her is part of my life. I don't talk about her. You guys don't know about her. Like, you don't know about her. You just know how living with her affects us. It affects me because this is my life. And obviously I can't share my life without talking about my family as they're affected, as they affect me, kind of thing. So that, I think, was all of the stuff that I wanted to address from the comments that I read. I didn't get to read very many. And many people were hidden because the way that they said it wasn't very nice. So I've mentioned it before. This is my social media account that I choose. If you have a difference of opinion, you're allowed to have a difference of opinion. If you say it nasty or derogatory or any way that I deem to be negative, I'm going to lose you because I don't need that here. There's too much negativity in the world, and I don't need you to add yours to my social media pages, especially if you're being antisocial. We'll call that the antisocial group of social media. So that being said, I'm so excited because Julie's back, and I feel for Jim because Jim has had to take on like extra, and it's been very stressful, but he managed, and it was hard. The last couple of days were really hard. We did have a conversation last night, and this is along those same lines what I had mentioned. I'm not complaining about my husband. I am telling you about how my husband of 21 years and my husband of 21 years with ADHD and learning disabilities, and I with stage 4 renal carcinoma and a tumor on my leg, are dealing with this new diagnosis. Type 2 diabetic, arthritic, possibly ADD, definitely diabetic neuropathy, going blind kind of a person, are dealing with the new things that come up as they come up. So the reason I do that is because the reason I do anything on my channels is to teach you, to educate people, to help. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, then I will. And even if it is, how do you stay positive during all of this? Oh, I just knocked my headband off. Even if it is that, then it's that. And you say, how do you stay positive during all this? I don't know. Because there's bigger things in life that I worry about than, these minor things. But so yesterday was, I was really tired. I wasn't feeling well. I fell asleep in the evening, and I didn't know if I mentioned the hot dogs, which was really funny. I must tell my sister that story. Where Jim had promised me schnitzel, but ended up making hot dogs. But the hot dogs turned out to be really, really good, and really, I didn't even know I wanted that, but I'm glad. So yesterday I was really tired, and I didn't even know I fell asleep watching TV. So Jim came in at 6 o'clock. It was fend for yourself. I had eaten early because I wasn't, like I said, I just knew I had to eat. So he came in at 6 o'clock, and I said, "Are you staying in?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you don't have anything to do?" He's like, "I was just going to play games." I was like, "Okay, can we do this thing that we've been putting off? And now my sister's going to be home tomorrow. So it's like, we can't really put it off anymore." And he got really frustrated with me. He's like, "Why do you wait till the last minute to do this?" And I was like, "Did you check on me when I was asleep? Did you check on me the whole night?" And he's like, "No." I said, "Well, this is the first time I'm seeing you since you came home from work. You knew we had to do it. I didn't know that you forgotten we had to do it. So I didn't think it was catching you off guard right now that we're doing it right now." So with the, I don't know how to say it, the gumption of a 5-year-old who has to clean up their Legos, he begrudgingly helped me do the things that I needed to do to get the thing done for my sister before she came back, which was this morning. So again, this isn't a complaint about my husband. This is just how we dealt with it. What we've been trying to do is move our rock band equipment. If you remember that we had the 2 chests under the window because I wanted this nice window bench. One of them had our linens in it, and the other one had the pieces of Rock Band. They're the drum kit and the guitar and the drum kit stand, basically, is really what all that was in there. And the guitars are hanging up back here right now, for now, just to get them safe up out of the way. So I said to him, I said, we have an under the bed storage. I thought we had an extra under the bed storage thing. And I was like, if we could just put the Rock Band in there, we could slide it under the bed. What we found out was those under the bed storage things can, like, there's tons of room under the bed. I thought I would be able to fit 4 of them, like 2 on each end. Well, it turns out we can actually fit 8. We would just have to, Jimmy would just have to crawl under there to actually get the 2 from the middle. I thought that was really cool. So he ended up pushing them back. So because he pushed them back, I couldn't get it myself. So I said, I thought we had an extra one, and then we didn't have an extra one. Turns out we put a comforter in it. Then he said to me, but I think that the guest linens and the comforter can go into the same bag. And I was like, oh, great. But he never did that. As I was sitting here yesterday, I realized that the artwork that we had taken down of certain areas was actually in one of the bags under the bed. And I was like, Jim, the artwork can come out. And he's like, well, where are you going to put it? And I was like, I put it right here. I actually have it right here standing up between the table and the chair very safely. It's got nowhere to go. If it slides, it'll slide under the chair, and it's nothing breakable. Actually, the big things that are breakable won't slide under the chair because they're too big. So I was like, I'll just put them here. And I was like, and then we'll have the extra bag left over for the Rock Band. So I said, I'll do this. I'll take care of this. Why don't you go ahead and move the linens over? So just to give you an idea, I had a box in the living room of stuff that I'm sending to New York. If you've ever taken a tour of the guest room, I have a wooden seat chest in there. The wooden seat chest was from my sister's father-in-law for my nephew, the nephew that just passed away when he was born. However, by the time the third child, her kids are like a year apart, and then like a year and a half later. No, yeah, because it's December, February to December, so like a year and 8 months later. By the time the third child was like 2, they needed a bigger toy box. So my other sister had found like this toy box, and she personalized it for them. And my sister gave me the seat chest, and Jimmy and I used it for linens since then. I guess that would be 1998. Or actually, I guess I used it before I met Jimmy. Yeah, it had to be. So, we had it. Me and my dad refinished it. We changed all the hardware. Well, that sprayed up all the hardware, not changed it. But we sprayed it up to that nice gold matte finish. And, excuse me. Now, this chest survived the flood. After the flood, I took all of the stuff out of it, washed it, left the seat chest in the front yard, washed it down, let it air dry out, that type of thing. And the hinge, the slow closing hinge, actually broke, but I kept it attached just so it would be there because I didn't really ever use it. I didn't have kids. And over the course of living here, since the flood, the where the hinges are screwed in started to also like rust out, and then the hinges, so basically the top is really semi-detached. I think it's held on by 2 screws and 1 hinge. But that's okay, again, because we don't sit on it. It's just for people to put their luggage. So we moved the 2 chests in the guest room, the 2 seat benches into the guest room, so we can make room for the commode. And then I said to my sister, I said, I don't know if this is too soon because my nephew has just passed away. I said, but I have Joe's trunk. And she said, what? I said, his chest that his grandpa made him, I have it. Would you like it back? And she was like, I thought that was in the garbage. I was like, no, you gave it to me when you got the big toy box. And, you know, me and Pop worked on it, and I've had it ever since. And she said, I would love it. She's like, how is it going to get here? And I was like, well, we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, I'll make it so I don't use it anymore. You know, we'll keep it safe. And my sister, Julie, suggested that since I had stuff going to New York out in the living room, that I empty out the seat chest and put the stuff in there. So it would basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. To do this, we needed to take the guest room linens and put them in the other chest that had the Rock Band in there. Again, essentially bring the Rock Band back in here. Now, we may eventually get rid of the Rock Band. Jimmy and I have been talking about a lot lately. I would love to play Rock Band right now. Like, this is just the mood that I'm in. Like at the end of the night, I'd love to. We have to find a microphone because for some reason both microphones are gone. I feel like both microphones got lost in the flood, but they couldn't have been because we had them here. So I don't know if they got thrown out on accidental purpose or if they're kicking around somewhere. There is a couple of spots in our big purge that we actually haven't gotten to yet. And if they're there, they could be there kind of thing. But so, because the singing part's my favorite. I don't sing great, but what I do is I nail the timing and inflection, because with rock band, you basically have to have the timing and inflection right. So anyway, like, yeah, I don't sing great, but I could sing to the music. So we ended up doing all of that. And then last night, after we just got everything switched over right before he was getting ready to game, he sat down and he got very upset. And I said, what's going on? You have to talk to me. I can't help you. If you can't talk to me, I can't fix it, or I can't stop doing it. That's another thing. He's like, it never fails that when I want to come in and relax, you have to do this to me. And I was like, hon, you didn't check on me. Again, we didn't know it was the last minute. I didn't know that you were coming in at 6 o'clock to start gaming. You know, you need 2 hours so that you can be in bed by 8 o'clock. Like, why though? You spent all this time by yourself. You got home we finished snuggling at 3 o'clock. So I said, you just had 3 hours to yourself. You didn't see hide or hair of me. I was like, I don't know, like, what's going on? So afterwards we discussed it, and he said, yeah, I'm sorry. He goes, it's been very hectic and it's been a lot. And I said, I do appreciate that. And I want to tell you guys the truth. I do appreciate everything he does. If you've been following me on Instagram, I've been blowing him up all weekend because he's had a really good weekend of doing a lot of things. But there's a couple of things I will point out right now. A, he is taking on more than I'm asking him to do, which then a go ahead makes it more work. You know, like, kind of like, look, if your boss asks you to lift 50 pounds if your boss asks you to lift 50 pounds of cement mix, and you decide before that you're going to go ahead and move the 400-pound toolboxes on your own, well, that's on you. You still have to lift the 50 pounds of cement mix. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's a nice way of putting it that I think everybody can understand. And I'm grateful for all the things that he does. I am 100% grateful for all the things that he does. But I can still be disappointed in the things that he doesn't get to, or that I feel like are more important than moving the 400-pound toolboxes. So, and again, they're important to me, but that's just it. They're important to me, and then I can't do them myself, because then he'll yell at me for, why are you doing that? And then I'll get yelled at because I could hurt myself. But then if you're not going to do it, then what am I doing? Like, why am I just going to sit here and be like a fludge looking and miserable because I want these things done that they can't get done and I can't do them myself? And it's a constant reminder that I can't do stuff myself. Look, I'm going to get the plate on my leg next week, and after physical therapy, I'll probably be able to do everything myself. I might have no limitations other than my cancer treatment making me tired and lethargic. I don't know yet. We'll find that out. We will find that out. So for right now, it's, look, this is what it is for today. For today, it is, don't do anything. Which, I'm okay. It's really hard. It's really hard. You know what's really hard about it? Like, especially a person who is so in love with food. And even while I was actively doing keto, I was still in love with food. So to be able to cook the food that I want when I want it without any help from anybody or without asking anybody for help was so amazing. Now, even like days where I've said to Jim, and I've told you guys before too, if he helps me cook, A, we'll get done faster, and B, I'll have energy to do other things or clean up or that kind of thing. But if I can do it myself, and I have done it myself, and sometimes it takes longer. Like there are days when I made like stuff in the Instapot by myself. So I would get all the ingredients and I'd sit and make it, and I would rest enough, and then I would get the finishing touches or whatever. But then I'd have to let it cool off, and then I'd have to cool down, and I'd have to relax before I could clean up or have somebody else clean up for me. So the hardest part has been not being able to eat what you want when you want it. And I don't mean like devil dogs, because that's already like processed in my brain. I mean like, I have been wanting the Olive Garden chicken for about 2 solid months. And can I just tell you guys something? It is literally throw frozen chicken in the Instant Pot with a bottle of salad dressing, a half a bottle of water, a block of cream cheese, and turning the Instant Pot on. Then if you eat pasta, you boil pasta at the end of it, shred the chicken, add the Parmesan cheese, and then go. Like, that's the whole meal. It's nothing like complicated. It's just having somebody do it for you because you can't do it yourself. Getting the Instant Pot out, I can't even do by myself right now. It's a pain in my booty. But like, that part is the hardest of all of the things that are going wrong with me, is that I'm getting a hankering for a second cup of coffee. Oh crap. Who can I ask to make me a cup of coffee? Or I'm getting hankering for an iced coffee. Oh, I would love it with like, I would drizzle the caramel around the cup and put the iced coffee in there with the creamer such and such and sprinkle some cinnamon on top. And who can I get to do that for me? And that's the part. Like, I don't think you guys realize that. And I know a lot of you do. I take that back. A lot of you do. But there are many people out there who just think like, I've always had the concept or always had the thought in their head that I'm just like a lazy, fat, sit around, do nothing, make my husband do everything kind of a person. Because that's what you perceived and that's what you think you see. And that's fine. It's your opinion. However, it couldn't be further from the truth. I'm like, I hate this. I mean, I hate having cancer and I hate having a tumor in my leg, but I hate being dependent on people for what you want when you want it. It's the freaking worst. And I don't even think you guys realize, if you're not dependent on somebody, if you have your independence, you don't even realize what I'm talking about. It really takes something debilitating to give you that sense of, wait, what? Like, think about it. How many times have you in the middle of the night just wanted a tuna fish sandwich and you got up and made a tuna fish sandwich? Or a bowl of cereal, or a bowl of ice cream, or grab chips from the counter, or whatever it is, whatever it is. How many times has that happened to you in your life? And then you don't realize that you can't do it. You can't do this stuff by yourself. So that part's really been hard. And that's the part I'm looking forward to the most. And one of the things that we've been dealing with the hardest has been me needing my husband to do what I ask him when I need him, or do what I need when I need it. I'm trying to be very patient with him, and I have been very patient with him, but it's got to get to a point every once in a while. It shouldn't have to, but it gets to a point every once in a while where you're like, can you please just see me and consider me and my feelings and stuff, and just be like, I know he's a very visual thinker, and it's an out of sight, out of mind. And when I'm in here, as opposed to being in the living room, he doesn't see me and say, hey, you need anything. Which is sad because I'm his spouse, but it is what it is. That's the way he learns and processes things. But when I'm tired and I'm in here, and that's the thing, when I'm so tired and stuck in here, if I'm out in the living room and I want a second cup of coffee, I probably will have enough energy to sit in my rollator and roll over to the cup of coffee, into the coffee machine. But it's when I'm in here and I don't feel good that I know that I can't do that. And that's when I feel it the worst. That's when I feel the dependence the hardest. My lack of independence is really what it is. I feel that the worst. So we discussed it. And what I finally said at the end was, because he's been like, he'll just throw his shoes, and I look, I'm already apologetic every moment of every day that I'm taking up as much room in the room as I am, and that his space is limited, and I'm so grateful for him for understanding all that. But I had 2 toileting accidents yesterday. One of them was just like, the reason we have the commode here is for emergencies, and it was an emergency. End of story. The second one was when I felt like I had to go to the big girl room, if you know what I mean. I only try to do number 1 in the commode, and the number 2s I go for the bathroom. But I was so exhausted, so that I sat in my rollator and I pushed myself backwards, which usually when I line it up, when I come in, I line it up to just roll right out if I need to for an emergency. And I rolled out, and something along the way of he moved. I grabbed the table and I knocked the table over, and I knocked all the books off the table. And now I had to stand up from the rollator and navigate around the books on the floor. And by the time I was able to do that, I just couldn't hold it anymore. And just the number 1 part, the number 2 part held fine. So then it was right before he was supposed to come home from work. And I said, I'm really, really very sorry. I just came back in the room, and I had just gotten back in the room, and I was like, I'm really very sorry about this. And he's like, don't worry about it. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. So then last night, he just like threw his shoes down, and he throws his laundry into the laundry hamper, but he misses because he's a guy. I mean, raise your hand if your husband misses the laundry basket sometimes. But what had happened was, in maneuvering around, the rollator got stuck on a sock and did got stuck. And I sat down and I had a conversation with him, and I said, just 2 minutes before you start gaming again. And he's like, yeah, what? And I said, I love you. And this is important for anybody who's going through this type of thing. I said, I love you, and your happiness has been the utmost to me for the last 21 years. And your safety has been a concern of mine for the last 21 years. However, at this moment, mine has to be a priority. My safety is my utmost importance. I was like, I cannot allow these tripping hazards to keep getting in my way. On days when I won't be able to control my movements, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't fall, because then I could just make everything worse. And I was like, you just have to be more mindful of the things that you've just gotten away with, but things that you just had to be mindful about before. There's things that we just didn't have to think about before, but now we have to start thinking about them. And I know it's hard. I'm not trying to deny that it's hard, but it is what it is, and it's what I need. He said, I know, I'm sorry, and you're right. And your safety is the utmost concern for me too. He's like, I just don't think about what's going to be a problem. I mean, the perfect example is like the TV cabinet. It's got glass doors, and he finishes gaming and he doesn't close the doors, and then sometimes the wires are hanging out, which we've already discussed, and we've dealt with that. He doesn't hang the wires out anymore, because one night at 2 o'clock in the morning, it almost took me down or the PlayStation. And I was like, it wasn't going to be me. So I would have, this is where he was like, oh, you're going to break my PlayStation, not your neck. No, I'm just kidding. So ever since then, I was like, and then on my way back, I catch the door, the door, because the doors are open, and I walk in, and it's like going into the edge of the door. And I'm like, if you close the doors, I'm fine. I don't ask a lot. I just ask if you can do these things for me, please. I don't think that they're huge. Put your stuff away when you're done using it. That's not a huge ask. Maybe it is. I don't know. What do you guys, I'm sure you guys agree with me, because we're adults. But, so anyway, that's it. That's what it is for today. And we discussed it, and we're both on the same page now. And my sister's back, so hopefully she'll ease some of his burdens of caring for me. We have a couple of days of a lot of appointments, and then we have next week is a few days of a lot of appointments. But for today, we're good. We're resting. I'm going to fold some laundry. I'm going to finish my coffee and maybe have some breakfast, and then we'll see how it goes. But listen, if nobody's told you today that you are loved, remember that I love you, and I will, no matter what, okay? And as always, you guys take care. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Hey, sorry about the background noise, but I just wanted to tell you that I did remember what the other thing was. It was about the Miracle mouthwash, and I got the Miracle mouthwash. Doctor prescribed it to me, and it does work miracles. So thank you all for that suggestion. Bye.